everybody. Welcome to DarkMatch. This is your weekly WWE Raw and SmackDown review. I am Tiefus, and I will never get used to wearing lip gloss.
I'm Christopher Says, and I'm DarkMatch's Mastodon on the monotone. That threw
I'm
me off guard. Sorry.
And I'm Magpie, and these fishnets are killing me.
And I'm the Fat One Subrick, here to inform you, yes you, once again, what the Iron Sheik is tweeting. Ahem. That's so stun! If you don't find me this scooter, you fucking Jew no good son of a bitch! I fuck your ass like Racing Balls Ultimate Warrior! The
Dear
mental
Lord,
image,
that is graphic.
the mental image of Raisin Balls.
He really goes into details with his insults. He's like Hemingway, man. He just goes into details.
And also, speaking of everyone's favorite Sheik, she was profiled. Stephanie McMahon herself was profiled in Sports Business Journal, and apparently in an interview she said that Roddy Piper, Iron Sheik, and Dusty Rhodes will be in the WWE Network's Legends House, that reality show of all of them in one house. That is not going to be PG. That show, it's they're
Hallelujah!
If it is PG, the editing on that show will be either really awful or the best editing we can ever see.
There will be a lot of loud bleep the entire show.
I don't know. I'm still stuck on the mental image of Raisin Balls being penetrated by the Iron Sheik's penis.
Ah!
Now it's in your head.
You evil son of a bitch!
Just thrusting and thrusting.
Yeah, damn it, you're making us too close to the image. We already have an image of the outline of his penis, thanks to that match he was having with Hogan.
Nothing but tears for lubrication.
Just picture Tommy Wiseau's ass. Just picture Tommy Wiseau's ass. Much.
Are you just gonna keep upgrading from there?
Can you imagine a book by the Iron Sheik? It would be the greatest thing in the world. This is the Raisin Ball story. Once upon a time, there was a man named the Ultimate Warrior. He was fucking cocksucker. He had raisin ball size of raisins.
Yeah. I would be able to tolerate a book like that if it was kind of like George Carlin stuff, like Brain Droppings or Napalm and Silly Putty, where
Chapter 1, The Dirty Jew. Chapter 2,
The Intelligent Jew.
Chapter 3, Humble. And now that we have made you all piss your pants with laughter, on to the WWE's flagship show, Monday Night Raw Super Show, whatever you want to call it, is War.
Yeah, quite a lot to talk about with this one.
Yes.
It's funny, they had a homage to Friday the 13th, and yet the show wasn't on Friday the 13th.
Yes,
if only.
But the fact of the matter is, going into this one, we thought that we would be talking about Chris Jericho's appearance the most, and that turned out not to be true.
We will get into that later on tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Yeah.
We start off this wonderful little show of ours, which I don't know where it's from this week, and we get a look back at Kane trying to drag Zack Ryder to hell, and John Cena stopping him, and the ring going kaboom and all that. Then Kane comes out.
Just so I can ask, it goes wrestling ring in the arena, and then when you break through it, there's the midget thing, and then through that level, then you're in hell?
No, hell
I think hell is above the midgets.
Okay.
Hell is above the midgets because there's much more traffic coming back and forth.
All right, and then the midget is under hell. I just want to make sure I get this right.
Little people's court is hell's hell.
Yeah.
It's confusing. They share the same phone extension.
It's a hell within a hell.
What we need is one of those old diagrams.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
What we need is one of those old diagram books that like cuts a structure in half and shows you every little room and details like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, but first person that's going to remind us of everything that happened last week is Kane. Everything goes dark. His pyro comes out, and we're greeted to his new theme, which is technically his old one, but
it's still awesome.
But he talks about basically like he's like, I know Zack Ryder gained the support of the fans, but I was about to like take that away like last week if Cena hadn't done anything, and then he starts attacking the fans for being in denial and and like talking about how they hate their wife, their kids, and their jobs, and they don't embrace the hate, which kind of not only brings up memories of Sean O'Hare in his sort of Tyler Durden character, but also is his target Cena or is his target the fans? Because I thought the fans do embrace the hate,
Well,
the
okay,
hatred of John Cena.
We can argue it this way: Cena loves the fans. Kane makes fun of fans or insults them, thus insulting Cena because he loves the fans.
All
I'm
this
trying to put
means that
logic to
he'll
it. I really don't
hopefully-
care about the segment. I really don't care.
Hopefully, all this means that he'll be somewhat heel by the time he faces The Rock.
Yeah.
Which would be fine. It's just a,
Anyway, Kane
if we
is
get
talking.
something out of this. If we can get something.
Yeah. So Kane says he's seconds away from dragging Ryder to hell, but Cena stops him. All he did was delay the inevitable. And then he says what he gets. He gets what he wants, and I want consequences.
Consequences.
You know,
will
I
never-
agree with that because I want Consequences Creed too. Let's get him on
Yes.
TV.
Consequences will never be the same.
Yeah, Xavier Woods will be on the next season of NXT in 2014. Don't worry.
Why would consequences never be the same? Did he shave his head?
What?
That's a
No.
reference even too obscure for us.
Consequences Creed. Magpie just made the rep.
Oh
God,
no! But
fuck
like
you guys. Fuck it. I
it,
quit.
it
I'm
was
out.
it was two crossing references. One from wrestling and one from internet memes.
So basically crossing the streams.
Kinda. But
Anyway,
Your stream touched my stream, Tiefus. He.
Eye contact, no swordplay.
Okay, it's no gay.
so after this wonderful little bit of role playing, John Cena comes out. And they start fighting, and they fight through the crowd into the backstage, and they fight to outside to the loading dock. And Kane whacks him in the throat, and then he teleports away. It's Twilight Zone shit, ladies and gentlemen.
I
Hey, no,
compared
the
more to-
Twilight Zone's intelligent.
I
This
compared
is
more
weird.
to oh yeah. But I'd compare it more to Scream, where the killer just disappears all the time. Like even more so that in movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th, they do that in
No,
Scream.
honestly, I'd go with Friday the 13th. Just the.
That fits Kane more, you know.
Oh no! There's gonna be a different. It was all pastiche of slasher movie parodies because Halloween's coming up. But we have our first match of the night. After that segment, Santino Marella and Sheamus versus Jinder Mahal and Wade Barrett. And yet
This match lasted like a minute.
this match also happened on Friday, but we'll get to that, or maybe not. It's basically
Friday.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to bait someone, Tifus.
I'm baiting a lot of things right now.
Okay.
None of them is a master though, so don't worry. I'm professional.
I see a lot of things with masters.
So
Wait,
this
we're not
match
allowed to do that during
happens.
the show.
Yeah, so this match happens, and I think it's pretty much guaranteed now that whenever Jinder Mahal is on TV, we immediately change the channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, guys, your ratings aren't dropping. It's like people said maybe the ratings are dropping because they do something interesting and then they followed up with something completely stupid or boring.
It tends to happen all the time in WWE logic, you know.
This match was definitely not to put over anything with Wade Barrett. It was just to have Sheamus and Santino fuck up Jinder Mahal.
Hey,
Yeah.
to be fair though, even though I don't want Jinder Mahal on TV, if he's getting beat up, there's at least something out of it. I'm like, okay, he's getting beat up. This is
I'd
fine.
rather see Heath Slater get beat up, not Jinder
Well,
Mahal.
that's the thing. Even with Heath Slater, and we'll get into this later more with him, so I'll focus on Jinder right now. I can't think of anything ring-wise, like ring skill-wise, that's really bad with the guy. He's just not interesting as a personality. It's like, why is he on TV?
Yeah, and it's like we've probably spoken about this before, but like he was originally attached to Khali. They had this whole storyline of him having this major fortune, and Khali's sister being married to him, and without that, his family wouldn't survive. But Khali's the Punjabi playboy.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a national celebrity of like such huge status. How do they think they could pull that off? I mean, I didn't even really consider that when it was happening, and it was still a stupid angle.
I've just never seen him involved in anything that really made me care about him. Like I care about Sheamus, I care about Wade, I sort of care about Santino still, but I think he's jumped the shark. Um, I do not care about Jinder Mahal.
And I'm gonna side with Tifus on this, but I look at his in-ring skills. Although he's not terrible, he's just not interesting in the ring, as he is very much not an interesting character. Like I'd rather see Sheamus go for the IC title against Cody Rhodes, and I think that'd be a better use of his time than feuding with Jinder Mahal.
It
Well,
just
don't forget,
feels like, it just feels like a
Jinder.
Brooklyn Brawler kind of person to me.
Jinder, he's still extremely green. When he was put on TV last year, he hadn't even been a wrestler for a full year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the problem. So it's like a Tyler Rex situation.
Well, if that's the case, then he's a lot better than we give him credit for. Then because most people just with under a year aren't that good in the ring yet.
Suppose so, but
still, you got to give him time to see if he's got the character.
Yeah. Our next segment involves The Miz and John Laurinaitis with David Otunga in the background as usual. He basically says that he's paranoid about the R-Truth attacks. Obviously not in those words, but suffice it to say he wants a private security force protecting him at all times. And Laurinaitis turns him down. He says, Miz, you kind of brought this on yourself with the way you treated R-Truth, the way you barged in and like broke in on WWE programs when you were fired, et cetera, et cetera. And Miz complains to him about R-Truth and Little Jimmy, and Laurinaitis goes, Miz, I'm not Little Jimmy, I'm Big Johnny, and he gives that brainchild a smirk of admiration.
Yeah. And
now this I
Miz's
like.
face, Miz's
Brett,
face
it's over.
when
Why don't you
Miz's
get
fa-
do it now?
Miz's face when Johnny Ace says the Big Johnny line, he has that look of, did you really just say that?
Yeah. I just like how Otunga just laughs with him like a little trolling bastard that he is. I guess not trolling bastard, but just a little suck up bastard.
We'll get to Otunga later tonight.
That's the perfect role for Otunga though, just to be a smarmy kiss ass assistant.
I tell you my real opinion on David Otunga and his role, but I can't use that word on the show, so I'm gonna just move on with the next segment.
Yes, we learned that CM Punk will face Jack Swagger. We go to commercial, and we learn the second inductee, technically, for the WWE Hall of Fame, and it is none other than Edge.
No, wait, this is the first one.
No, he's the second one. Mil Mascaras is the first one.
Oh, right. Oh. But yeah, great, awesome for him. Like, I'm glad to hear it. It was
Can't argue against it.
timed right, yeah.
I mean, it's like I put stock into the first, like they're just gonna do the comp out, like now we have to put Macho Man on. I thought they're gonna do that, but this was a nice surprise, and it's a guy who deserves it.
So yeah, no problem with that.
Can't really argue more with that, nor the second choice, which we'll get to later, and I'm gonna talk more enthusiastically about that one.
Sure as hell ain't Drew Carey, but
I just think it's funny though, because since then WWE's been trying to like WWE.com has been trying to trump up people talking about how Edge is too young or whatever, is trying to like build some controversy around it by interviewing people and asking their opinions and trying to like lead them to talk about that. And everyone's just like, "What? Too young? Fuck that shit. He deserves it."
And also, it's like it's not like he's still wrestling and then he's inducted in the Hall of Fame. He legitimately can't wrestle anymore, so he had a reason to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not controversial at all. You're just like giving a guy his due. I thought they wait till Canada, like when WrestleMania it would be in Canada to do it and induct Edge, but doing it now, still cool.
Yeah. Now maybe Martha Hart will lighten up and we could get Owen in there when they're in Canada.
Oh, God willing, I hope so, dude. That's like as a wrestling fan, I want that to happen before I die.
But nonetheless, we start a series of very quick segments where Miz is asking a bunch of toughs to be his bodyguard. The first one is Mason Ryan, and obviously, considering his alignment, that ain't gonna happen. Zack Ryder, he's on his cell phone talking to his dad, basically talking about his fear of Kane, and Eve Torres talks to him, and he basically like sort of toughs up. He kind of pumps up his chest and he says, he's like, come on, let's go on a date right now. Let's go on a date. just after wishing her good luck, he pretty much reveals that he just wants to go out a date so he could get the hell out of Dodge. He's accompanying her out to the not out to the probably to her locker room, and then we conspicuously pass a doorway. It opens and Kane leans in, and that's
Jeff.
yeah, I don't know. I personally
What the fuck are you doing?
I personally think that evokes Halloween more so than Friday the 13th.
Magpie,
Oh.
never try to do that music again, please.
And plus there's a radiant red glow coming from the room he's in.
Yes, because apparently anywhere that Kane is in, there's got to be mood lighting.
He's a Tommy
Hey, that's
Knocker.
not his mood level lighting.
Wait,
That's his aura. That's
But it begs the question: is that room the Dream World or is that Crystal Lake?
Oh yeah. That's I got that reference. Our next match of the night is
He sees no evil. He will put you in a dog cage and masturbate.
Jacob Goodnight.
Anyway,
Our second match is a singles competition, non-title, between Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan.
which I was stoked for, as in the match started and then it ended real fast.
Yeah, there's really no debate over there.
Yeah.
Kofi does a crossbody, and then Daniel Bryan catches it and puts on the low bell lock quick tap.
Which was a totally awesome maneuver and reversal how to do it, but if they would give that match 5 more minutes.
Welcome to your glass ceiling, Kofi.
Yeah, I mean, it really kind of indicates like they're usually good at protecting Kofi Kingston unless he's keeping a belt warm, in which case he just drops it. But he wins most of his mid-card matches.
Yeah, but again, it's kind of like not to the same extent, but still sort of like Jinder Mahal. Kofi lacks personality. He really does. But he's got a much flashier, much more able moveset.
that's basically what makes up the entirety of his interestingness is that he's good in the ring.
Yeah. But outside of that, you put a mic in his hand, it's just like, God damn it, dude.
It's the
Stop.
same thing. It's the same thing with face
Kofi?
John Morrison.
Hell no.
Now, John Morrison started getting better on the mic, and he actually said in an interview recently, or at least on Twitter, when someone asked him what he needs to do to get back to WWE, he said, "If I go back to WWE, Jomo needs to cut more promos."
Fair enough, but
So-
I never thought Kofi was bad on the mic. They just never gave it to him.
Well, they've given it to him, and it wasn't bad. It was just not at all special at all.
Yeah.
Like,
He's one of those guys that they never let deviate from the script, so everything that they say just sounds really clunky.
You're a jerk, Wade Barrett. I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, like that.
No, not Kofi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, not at
Kofi.
all. Not at
Yeah.
all. I'll argue against that. any
You
day.
find us some damn
He
evidence to the
sounds
contrary,
comfortable.
sir. Hey,
I smell a challenge.
His
Yeah.
friggin' his promo after winning the tag belts.
yeah.
Promo with the tag belts, like talking about
Yawn.
You have to
I-
you have to find amusing about that particular segment though is that they give the mic to Evan Bourne at first, and 10 seconds later, Josh Matthews literally has to pull the microphone away from him to give to Kofi.
but
So yeah, Daniel Bryan wins this match, and for the 3 minutes it happened, it was good. And then Daniel Bryan, he's doing his stand on the announce table and be all stock face sort of thing. And then Big Show comes out, and he gets in, and Bryan gets to slimy heel mode. And I'll when we get to SmackDown, I'll flesh out my opinion on Bryan's heel turn and why I don't really like it. But
You, sir, are in the minority.
Hey, he's got backup.
yeah, basically
You can't even sing the right. You don't matter.
You don't matter. You're Tiefus. There, I win.
I go to work and I got so much chest hair sticking out of the top of my shirt. They call me Teen Wolf, man.
give me 2 weeks and I'll have the best damn mustache on
Well,
the
you're
show.
not even the good Teen Wolf. You're Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, that's a low blow, sir.
But
Oh,
yeah.
you're like You're Lilo and Stitch too.
Oh yeah, well you're Lilo and
You're
Stitch the series.
You're all. You know
Oh,
what? You're Blair Witch. You're Blair Witch 2.
you're Fox and the Hound too.
You're
You're
Bambi
Cinderella
2.
3.
Whoa!
You're Belle's Magical World.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Turtles Live.
Ooh. My
The
Little Pony
A
Live.
live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series with the female turtle.
Mortal Kombat on stage.
Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins.
The deleted endings from the first Twisted Metal.
I think you're Bucky Larson.
That I have to say that does sound worse than every Rob Schneider movie in existence.
Oh.
I think you're Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Take
You're
that,
Legally
Jamie Lee
Blonde
Curtis.
3.
You're Ginger Mahal.
You're American Psycho 2.
You're Mean Girls 2.
You're Hulk Hogan's American Gladiators.
You're Hulk Hogan's Pastamania.
Oh, I was gonna say.
No, wait, actually, you're Thunder in Paradise.
Get on with it!
All right.
Anyway,
Daniel Bryan's promo was thus. Basically, Big Show, I'm not proud of the way I won our last match. The title is too prestigious for it to end on a DQ, so I'm going to offer you a rematch whenever you want. And Show's like, well, oh yeah, well, Teddy Long feels the same way because this rematch is on Friday and it's no DQ, no countout. Good luck,
Ooh.
Daniel Bryan. They shake hands and
Brian looks scared shitless.
yeah, he has the usual glazed look of, oh, I just agreed to that.
Even though like 2 weeks before he was badass, being like, oh, Mark Henry tries to pick a fight with him, and he's like, I'll see you in the ring. I don't back down from challenges. I didn't want to see that guy.
No. It's weird. It kind of fluctuates, but he does that on Friday. But they hype Chris Jericho's next appearance as well as CM Punk and Jack Swagger again.
And now the feature presentation.
Yes, but before the commercial, we see a dressing room with Brodus Clay's name on it.
I'll say this though. I went down the street before this promo to the liquor store to pick up some Fruity Pebbles and just enjoy that with my while watching wrestling. And there's very few things that could just make me spit out Fruity Pebbles just laughing.
To the
You
liquor
went to
store.
the liquor store to
You
buy
got Fruity Pebbles at the liquor store?
Is that the closest store by you or something?
Yes, and
What
it's
the hell
more
are they
affordable.
selling Fruity Pebbles?
Yeah.
California.
Yes,
All right.
I'll add in one other
You
little thing.
fucked up
I'll add in
state.
one thing to this Brodus Clay match. The two female dancers that he had Naomi from NXT and her lovely ass, and Ariane, the woman who from Tough Enough, who said that Melina versus Alicia Fox was the greatest match of all time.
Wait,
And
there's a
thus, it's the
sister named
highest on the card.
Ariane.
And this is the highest on the card those two will ever get.
Yeah, unfortunately, especially.
Wait, what's the other one's name, Subrick?
Ariane.
Ariana.
They named a sister Ariane.
She's
That's her real name.
yeah. She's in FCW. She's called Charlotte Lynn.
So
No. It's Cameron Lynn.
Yeah,
Cameron Lynn.
but Chris is right. The real
Doesn't that
travesty of
name
this is that the real travesty of that is that Naomi does deserve to be a legitimate contender for the Divas title.
Yeah.
she's got the skills. It's just sad.
She should be wrestling AJ. That's
At-
on SmackDown, at
But
least.
at least from what I saw on Twitter since then, she's happy to be there at all. So that's good. She
Yeah,
appreciates it.
it's definitely like, I mean, being on for her to be on TV as long as it doesn't really get too demeaning to her. But hey,
And as long as she's got the right attitude for it, there's hope for better in the future.
but yeah, this summation, this generation's answer to Godfather, Flash Funk, Ernest Miller,
Oh, he uses Ernest
Rikishi.
Miller
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
I'd say it's always good
This
to
is
have
our
a guest.
generation's too cool.
And
I will
honestly,
say it's
No, it's not too cool. It's just Rikishi.
and hey, Brodus Clay is good at it, so hey, I welcome it with open arms.
yeah.
Actually, you
anytime
left
you
out
have
one crucial detail, Teepus. It's Rikishi without the insane crowd reaction because this crowd was dead the whole show.
Yeah,
They
corporate
They
just
were
didn't
more
know how to.
shocked, if
They
anything. They were
just
like,
had no idea how to react to it because the last time we saw Brodus, he was just this big, brooding bastard of a fat guy, and now he's the Funkasaurus.
And it's
Yeah.
always good to have a
And much
dancer in
more
wrestling.
interesting.
It
Yeah,
makes- it-
All right.
So Brodus Clay happened. Wrestling's fine. It's still alive. Everyone's fine.
I just thought it was funny because throughout the match he's like doing all this hip gyration stuff, and it's making Kurt Hawkins really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
I-
yeah.
Like he grabs onto him for the German suplex and he starts grinding, and Kurt Hawkins was like, "Whoa, what are you doing there, big boy?"
the
Ew,
party
ew,
crowd.
ew, 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 ew.
And
And,
then Brodus Clay does a T-bone suplex, and someone in the crowd goes like, "You suck, Brodus," and he goes, "My bad."
And he's
See,
got
it's a guy having fun.
and he's got Kurt Hawkins down on the mat, and he just yells, "Should I get hip?" And
See,
he picks him up and hip tosses him.
Brodus is much more interesting now than if they brought him in as just some large monster heel.
I don't know, man. I would have gone for it if they had just made him the monster. If they had made him the new kind of evil Mark Henry character.
No, but
It
it's
would
like
have worked.
But it's like what Bob Doyle said on the forums. He would just be another big dude who's a big monster heel who has a win streak for a few months and then loses to Cena in one match.
That's
That would
true.
have been the entirety of his time, and then he'd be on Superstars.
That's
rest.
very true. And at least this way you get something new where you get the big monster baby face.
Yes. Not to
Yeah.
mention that
Right.
this whole thing with Brodus Clay is easily the most talked about thing on this show, and it's so much fun to see a guy actually having fun as a wrestler anymore. There's too many super serious characters.
Yeah, and the funny
Yeah.
thing about this is, like, he had this WWE.com exclusive interview where they were basically like, this is a far cry from what we expected, like when we saw like some of your advertisements before, and he was like, well, you saw what happened in the ring, like don't think that I'm all fun. It's like if he could like work different kind of things into it, like some people suggested, like he'd be all fun for a few weeks and then he snaps or
Yeah.
whatever, but this is all very good, like suffice it
It's
to say.
just it's new and refreshing, and it really is fun. And it came out of left field, and he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, he's having
Yeah,
fun
he was
with it.
having
It's perfect.
he was having fun out there, and that's what wrestling should be for the fan as well as the wrestlers. It should be fun.
Yeah, whether you're a heel or a face, it should be fun. You should really just get into it, no matter what it is. And we can
Totally.
really get into this.
And
Even to the point where Backlash, who was like, "No, I don't want to see Brodus Clay come back. I hate Brodus Clay. A pox on both his houses," and all that kind of crazy shit. He saw this and he thought it was hilarious. He loved it. So, I mean, if that's the mark of someone that's really gonna work out pretty well. That's like one of the signs anyway, is that you can turn people that are against seeing you into, yeah, I want to see this. This is funny as shit. You know.
And
So.
of course, he even does like he's unique in the ring to the point where he has like his own unique energy releases when he does his finish, which is a big splash and like a running big splash. He goes chihuahua. I don't even.
I do like what Ali said in regards to him not being all fun. He's 70% fun, 30% dry humping.
It's very actually depressing to see so many people like getting so angry about this. Like,
Oh, I know.
Brodus is pretty much he's
the man. He's the man.
yeah.
We hope he goes far.
Good way of putting it. But yeah, now we have Zack Ryder talking to himself in the mirror backstage, like after that like huge revelation, and he's excited about his date with Eve, but he's keeps looking over his shoulder, like we expect either Kane to be behind him in the mirror, or if they're feeling really cheeky, they're gonna have him appear in the mirror, like some other certain segments in other dead companies that made a lot of sense.
And companies who think they're dead, but they think they're alive, but don't know they're dead.
On their they're dead on their feet. But after this, now we have the Miz talking with Primo, Epico, and Rosa about being his bodyguards, but they're not interested either. Hey, they're heels.
And CM Punk comes by, and just like every other person who watches them, the only reason why Punk is interested is because of that ass.
Oh yeah, he just
He made
takes
no bones about that. That was pretty obvious.
Yeah. And Miz, he's just sitting against the wall. He's like, what am I going to do now? Punk looks at him like, what's your problem? He's like, what? And then Punk's just like, okay. And he walks away. And then we go
Punk
to
just kind of gives that reaction, just walks off.
so we get CM Punk versus the former world champion because they can never shut up about that because no one will ever take Jack Swagger seriously. Jack Swagger.
They need to give him something to go on where it's like he was a former world champion. That means something, right?
So
No,
was Dolph Ziggler.
Uh,
But yeah, I thought Swagger did what he could in this match. He was doing some interesting transitions. Like I remember him at one point doing like a double chicken wing to like a grounded pin, but like again the only spots that he really has are like he clips the leg, he does the Swagger bomb, he does the ankle lock, which a lot of people often do better than him, and of course the gut wrench. But other than that, like I really don't. This match was all right, but I don't know if that's the kind of competition you give CM Punk.
it's like you want to throw any competition you can at to up against a champion and have the champion beat him, and an array of opponents. That way, the champion can show off that he has the skill sets to beat any opponent that throws at him. But Swagger isn't going to give him the style of match or just quality of match that like Dolph Ziggler would give, or like some other opponent, or Jericho, God willing.
Yeah, God willing, indeed.
Yeah. So this match, it was good, and then we have the finish. This is the most non-Divas match fucked up finish in recent memory. Because what happens is, Punk, Swagger takes Punk to the top rope and headbutts him down, and then Punk hits, the Savage Elbow, and then they do the pin, and then you very, very clearly see Swagger kick out at 2, but the ref goes through with the 3, and Punk wins.
I think someone on the forum said that like it was basically botched up by the ref. Like he was supposed to get his shoulder up, and then Punk was supposed to transition in the Anaconda Vice. Makes sense, but that's not how it happened.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Punk had the look on his face like, what the fuck? Like he wasn't too pissed off, but he was just like, huh?
Yeah, eventually he just shrugged and he was like, okay, yeah, may as well just dust that under the rug.
It's like,
Yeah,
not my botch. You're in trouble. Not my botch.
I really don't have anything to comment on this match. Really, I mean, it's all been said, and I don't have any witty way to put it or anything like that. But I will say that I like the idea of calling it the Savage Elbow, just because it doesn't sound like just a reference to who created that elbow drop style. Even if you can call that a variation of it, but it sounds like like an adjective, like it's a savage elbow, you know. So I hope that sticks.
Oh
Plus,
yeah, I
it's
know what you
just
mean.
nice to get. Plus, it's just nice to, get a cheap pop for
It's
Randy Savage.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's referring. It's almost like referring to Big Show as the giant Big Show.
Yeah, or it's almost like the Isaiah moonsault, but because of the word that's being used instead of Isaiah, it's
I always thought it was pronounced Asai.
Asai. Maybe I don't know. I'm bad at Japanese, so I apologize to anyone who's not or anyone that is Japanese. But yeah, I'm not. So
I think we could. You aren't?
I'm
no,
rudimentary at Japanese, but
I'm
nonetheless.
rudimentary low
So,
main. That's about
so
it.
yeah, the Punk
Like,
thing happened. The Punk botch happened. That match happened. We have replay of Kane and Cena from earlier. Now Cena's backstage with Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's getting freaky. They pimp his Twitter more.
Yeah, like it's weird. Cena basically tries to console him. He's like, don't worry, Zach. You be strong. You don't have to worry about Kane. You got more followers than the Miz on Twitter now. And that kind of confirms like what I was saying about that TNA segment.
yeah, I mean,
Like-
you'd almost want to say that's a ripoff, except I think that TNA segment was recorded first. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still genius of them though, which is very rare to say in terms of TNA.
But nonetheless, he's like, keep it together. Ryder keeps looking over his shoulder. And now we have the Bella twins after the commercial break. They're arguing, and Ricardo apparently they requested Ricardo come from all the way from Mexico, and and they want to tell Del Rio, but they want to tell Del Rio something. But at this point, the Miz wants to talk to Ricardo. He basically wants him to call out R-Truth and basically come on, bait him. Say something that'll offend him.
I just liked this segment, and you can groan all you want, but this is actually one of the rare good Bella Twin involved segments. Just because they kind of served their role and it didn't call for more than their capability of acting, which
And we got to look at their cleavage, which
pretty much when it comes to their ability in acting, it's stand on camera.
When it comes to cleavage, the Bellas don't stand out for me, but
No,
I think it's less that they have smaller boobs, which yeah.
No,
But-
I'll say it. I like natural boobs better than the augmented titty brigade, but
yeah, I've always said that, like,
as someone who had seen their cleavage in person, it's
no,
like,
I think I recall you being put off by them in general.
I'd rather take small natural boobs over gigantic fake boobs.
well, it just pissed me off when I did see them
I will
in
not
person,
comment.
because this was the tribute to the Troops tour in 2009. I was over in Iraq, and I saw Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, Vince McMahon, John Cena, and both of the Bella Twins. And it just pissed me off because I had my camera there and I was going by the table and shaking everyone's hand, getting my copy of the Vince McMahon DVD signed by each of them. And I can tell the other parts of the story at another time when it's more appropriate. But the thing about the Bellas is when I got to them and they were signing it, they saw that I had the camera and everything, and instead of just being like hi or anything like that, or just saying just making polite, pleasant conversation or anything, they just did stupid poses and their little duck faces for it. And I'm like, is that all you can do? Is that all you think anyone wants to see of you? No, show me some goddamn personality, woman. Jesus.
I was just about to ask that if they were any more or less interesting in real life than they are on TV.
Yeah, he answered it before he. Oh my god.
No, they were about the same.
Maybe that's just conditioning with training. Okay, smile, pose, look hot.
No. If anyone remembers from back then, they had the little thing where they had a whole bunch of soldiers standing around and climbing on the sides of this giant army vehicle called an MRAP. It's basically, we call it a bang bus for slang, and it's basically replacing the Humvees for our convoys because it's safer for IEDs and stuff. And they were standing on top of it, and they're like doing the whole, like they recorded this commercial, and I was right there for it, and people were running out of line to go get in this commercial and everything. And the guy I was with at the time, he's like, "You want to go get on that?" I'm like, no, fuck no, I hate them. They're not interesting to me. And so anytime you see that commercial from 2009 with the Bella Twins standing on top of the thing, you're like, "To all the troops, blah, 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 happy holidays!" I was there. I was just off screen and just like, fuck this shit.
Hey, Tiefus, which diva, if there was another diva, which diva would it take for you to climb on top of the tank?
Ah, shit. I could tell you if I had the roster in front of me, but I can't really think of it right now.
Okay, then we'll simplify it. We'll simplify it to Beth, Natalia, Trish, or Lita.
Any of the four.
Okay.
And now we move on for the less interesting ones.
I'd go up there for AJ or Caitlyn, and even Kelly and Eve. I would go say hi, because I think at least they would have a little bit more personality than just I'm Candy, But I
The
think
Bella thing happened with Ricardo and La Di Da, and now we get our second Hall of Fame announcement of the night. And who else
This
would it
one
be?
is fucking awesome.
Yes, only 3 words can sum up this: diamonds are forever. It is Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Tully Blanchard, the 4 Horsemen.
No Oli, but
Fuck yeah.
Why no Ole, by the way?
Oh, Ole's nuts.
Well, Arn Anderson, or someone, maybe not. No, it wasn't Arn Anderson. Someone said they're not sure why he wasn't involved, but they're pretty sure he doesn't give a fuck anyway. So
all right.
Ole Anderson said like a lot of like anti-McMahon things, and he's currently in a medical. He's just nuts right now at the moment. That's the medical way of putting it. But it sucks because I love the Minnesota.
A more important question is, why no Lex Luger? Why no Brian Pillman? Why no Chris Benoit?
Yeah, why no
just
fucking
the
Steve
Why
Bongo
no Dean
McMichael?
Malenko,
Where's Steve
Mongo in the
McMichael?
WWE Hall of Fame would be amazing.
Uh,
Anyway, and apparently, from what Ric Flair has said on video, he will be at the Hall of Fame on stage on the broadcast, and he will be at WrestleMania.
Bye
Which
bye
gives
TNA. Sorry,
is-
Gunner.
which is
Yes,
WWE's
hopefully-
middle finger there.
Hopefully, this means that Ric Flair will be out of TNA as soon as possible.
Sorry, Gunner. Gonna have to find yourself someone else old to represent you. Maybe Bischoff. Since it
Yeah.
seems like our Garrett Bischoff's gonna feud with him. Enough talk about that.
I gotta say though, just in regards to the Hall of Fame, it's really cool to see Art Anderson get into the Hall of Fame. I always really liked Art Anderson, and if I could go back on a tangent, just one little memory. I remember going to my first WCW show, which was the Bash at the Beach here, and going to the parking lot, and I actually was fortunate enough to meet Art Anderson, and he was nothing but nice to me. And ever since that day, I've always loved Art Anderson, great ring worker. So I'm just really stoked that he was there. And thanks for being nice to me, Art.
He has always been a consummate professional and a very classy individual. Very, very good with the fans and everything. And honestly, I would love to see him go in as an individual. But
That's
I know
it. Damn
That
straight.
could be for next year.
that's
Like-
probably a pipe dream
No,
at best.
like
They're
if
probably
there
not-
was any time to do it, it would have been last year since they were in Atlanta, and there was all the rumors that it would be a WCW centric Hall of Fame that year. And then the moment they announced that Shawn Michaels was going in, all of that went away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like 95. But
It's-
nonetheless, we're back from commercial. Does anyone remember the sort of kind of flimsy insults he gives
Yeah.
to our
I
truth
think
debate?
he said like your mother, she has bad breath, and your father, he smells like a donkey.
Oh yeah, he's like he smells like the lame donkey. Yeah, I remember that.
I just thought that was hilarious because his heart was serious. Like not like he was not into the segment, but the way he was acting, it like his character was just not at all wanting to be there, saying any of
Yeah.
that. It was hilarious. To
No,
me.
I fucking love Ricardo Rodriguez. Like, I hope they put him in the ring, even if it's just as a joke. The only time they ever did that close to TV was on NXT 4, but
Well,
Don't forget, he
talk
did
about
a
an
drop-
underrated person on their roster.
yeah,
Um,
dude has personality. Dude can
Yes, when he
apparently
isn't,
act as well as
when he isn't being Roberto Del Rio's personal ring announcer, and when he isn't
he
being
does
an
have
extra in
personality
porn,
with that.
and when he isn't being an extra in porn films, he's seen.
I was just gonna say that.
I just have one question: who the fuck is Roberto Del Rio?
Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
I'm on the booze tonight, apparently.
Oh yeah, what booze you drinking tonight, Mister 17-year-old?
18-year-old.
Still not any better.
It's not even alcohol. It's huge bottles of Coca-Cola.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
when you turn 21, try tequila. Drink
Or-
375.
Don't drink tequila.
Worm
no,
or no?
no,
Wait,
no.
no. Worm or no worm?
I don't have. I've never had an opportunity to try a worm, but I would.
It doesn't make it any better. Don't.
But I challenge you when you turn 21, if you're up for it. It's not for everybody, but try to drink 375 milliliters of tequila in one night, in one sitting, and see how you feel the next morning. Because I felt fine. No
Is this
hangover.
like a military birthday or something?
No,
No.
it was a military celebration, but no, not a birthday.
So yes, so yeah, Ricardo, he's doing his, your mother smells like a donkey thing, and R-Truth comes out and he looks extremely happy. he really does. He's like smiling from ear to ear. That's the really great thing that they've done with R-Truth. I remember I said during the Survivor Series show that after what they did with him, with breaking up Awesome Truth, that he wouldn't get over. I take that back all the way, because they made him even more insane, and it is glorious.
I gotta say, I was cautious about how well his character would translate as a babyface, but it's working.
Yeah, it's not. He isn't even. It's like he's only sort of like, he still does the little Jimmy thing. He still talks to his imaginary friends.
he still says "Don't what me."
No, actually, he doesn't do "Don't what me."
No,
now.
he
Whenever
does,
the
he
crowd
does. He did
Well,
that.
whenever the crowd does what now, like he'll just shrug his shoulders in time with them.
Huh. Well, but nonetheless,
Your new Kurt Angle, ladies and
you
gentlemen.
basically, I'd like to introduce you to the WWE's Harmless Maniac, here to remind us of the precious gift of sanity. That's
No,
basically what.
if there were, I don't think there was a time when there was doubt about his ability to get over and really carry a high profile feud by himself. But I think since the whole little Jimmy thing started, that doubt has drastically shrunk down.
Yeah,
to,
I mean, he was over enough just saying like name of city, what's up, and now he actually has a vocabulary.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Remember 1 year ago at this time when he was not interesting at all. And
yeah, and the
nobody
only
Oh
liked him?
my god! And they stuck Eve with him doing her weird cheerleader dancing.
Yeah,
And they gave him a
Time
new
for me
theme.
to get crunk.
and the only time he was interesting was when he got Milwaukee wrong and said Green Bay, and then Michael Cole did one of the most badass things I've ever seen.
He stands up on the announce table and starts chanting, and the crowd starts chanting along with him.
No, if Michael Cole kept to that kind of stuff, I would really be pushing the whole Bobby Heenan comparison. But really, it's
Oh, since we brought up Cole, dude, he fucking ate it on tonight's broadcast, man. That dude could not competently, like, I mean, we all say Cole's bad, but just tonight, I think, because we read that report like a week ago about how the WWE officials were meeting about Cole's commentary. I think they told him not to do that for one night because he fucking ate it. He didn't do his usual trolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was bearable, and he was actually calling the wrestling.
yeah. I'd
But
like to see more of this. I think they got to find the happy medium.
I
for
think
him.
because-
I think it's fine.
He was being a subtle heel.
Yeah, and I think it's now because Kevin Dunn's orders or Vince McMahon's direct orders are like, okay, just don't fucking go on about him. Just make a point and then call the match.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of
and-
goes away on
You know-
SmackDown though, but we'll get to that.
And
No,
you
no,
gotta
I-
get
I-
tell like, oh, go right ahead, Stevis.
To be honest, I think what we've seen from him going over the top a lot has more to do with Triple H starting to run things more. 'Cause I really saw a difference when we started seeing the reports of Triple H is running the shows more and more. And maybe that's just Triple H trying to find his stride in helping the commentators or whatever.
But
So I
yeah,
hope that's what it is. I hope it's just a growth thing.
and here's the thing. We've diverged quite far from what we were talking about. Still just our truth. He basically does everything short of grabbing Ricardo by the balls and holds him hostage, makes him sings La Cucaracha,
And it's amazing.
except he keeps on pronouncing it La Cucaracha.
I think it's because
if
he was scared.
No. I'm talking about truth. That's how he's pronouncing it. But
Oh.
Ricardo, with talent that he is, he does it in the kind of where he starts to sing it nervously, and then he really gets into it.
Yeah,
Because
remix.
Because the fans are getting into it, and R-Truth's acting like he's getting into it too, and then yeah,
He little Jimmy's him.
yeah.
But
He
yeah,
got-
And so yeah, Truth whacks out Ricardo. Then Miz comes through the crowd and they start fighting. And once again, Truth fights him back because when has ever Miz gotten the upper hand on somebody?
Yeah.
And that segment happens. It was awesome.
Oh God, the whole thing was just a pretty good segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
La cucaracha remix.
Yeah.
but yeah,
That I was here. The thing with that was during that entire Raw, I was like deathly sick, and that segment and the Brodus Clay thing that made me laugh so hard, and
Yeah.
that it helped. When
If
you're
there-
extremely sick and watching that and you start laughing like mad, it helps.
Laughter is the best
the
medicine.
only thing I can say I really didn't like about this segment is the brawl between Truth and Miz being anticlimactic. I mean, it feels like they could have gone a few more weeks with the two of them just kind of going back and forth, interfering in each other's matches or jumping each other backstage and one of them running off or whatever. But and then do this segment when with the payoff of R-Truth really getting a beat down or Miz getting a really good beat down on him, and
They might do a
that
match
being
with them.
go home to them actually having a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, they might do a match with them at Royal Rumble because apparently now there's a new thing with the Royal Rumble where anybody on the show who has a match, possibly including the world champions, that's just what the report said,
Yeah,
can still be in the Royal Rumble. So
but it's always been like that. They've always done that. Like you'll have someone
yeah,
that was in the match earlier
yeah,
go
but I
in.
think this is the first. But now they may allow champions to be in the Rumble. I don't know why. It wouldn't make any sense at all if they won.
Maybe just like a heel thing where like, oh, I won. Now no one can challenge me but me.
Well, to me that would be either a move to unify the titles, which I don't think they're going to do this year, at least, and I hope they don't do it ever.
Probably at 30.
Yeah, I hope not. And then, or else it would just be a really big giveaway that that champion's going to lose their title at No Way Out or Elimination Chamber, or whatever the hell they're calling it this year.
Elimination Chamber.
But yeah.
They still call it No Way Out in Europe, though.
I like the
Good
No
for-
Way Out.
Yeah,
title better
good
than
for Europe, really.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
I mean, there was no point to changing it to Elimination Chamber because No Way Out serves the exact same purpose.
Yeah. I mean, even if that's the gimmick, the overall gimmick of the pay-per-view, that's so fitting, and it's better because it's
Yeah,
not
no,
such
and
a
it-
direct reference to the gimmick of the
Same thing. It's like Backlash. Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus they've gotten rid of all the classic pay-per-view names.
They
Like,
really have, and
Yeah,
it's,
the only ones really left are the big four pay-per-views. They
And
got
Vengeance.
rid of Vengeance. They got rid of. They're keeping Hell in a Cell. I don't know why. They got rid of No Way Out. They got rid of Backlash. They got rid of Judgment Day. They got rid of Vengeance. They got rid of
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
I honestly,
They got
I
rid of
would
No
not.
Mercy.
I would not have such a problem with the gimmicky pay-per-views if the names of the pay-per-views weren't so direct.
Like
I
if
mean,
they
I still wouldn't like it too much, but I would like it better.
Yeah, but the thing with the gimmick pay-per-views is that only some of them work. A thing like
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber works because it isn't supposed to be this giant, feud-ending match. It's supposed to be to determine a champion or determine who's going to go to face the champion.
Yeah.
A Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that doesn't work at all because who wants to see, Sheamus and Randy Orton and have another match only this
Yeah.
time cage when nothing really happens when you know that they're going to have 3 or 4 more matches in the rest of the
Yeah,
year.
and that's the big thing with a gimmick match like that. You really need to just let that grow organically from the feud. But something like the Royal Rumble, I have no problem with the event being called the Royal Rumble overall because that's such a big deal. Same thing with Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You go into that night expecting a type of match you only see really once a year.
Well, not this year, but
Well,
Yes.
I mean, there was a traditional elimination match, but that was not the draw.
no, and I think that's a problem too. They need to get back into really hyping that and focusing on that because
Actually,
otherwise that pay-per-view just kind of loses its luster.
But nonetheless, we're back from commercial, and Justin Roberts, we had Jericho advertised to speak this time. Obviously, last week it was not because we didn't know it was Jericho. But nonetheless, Justin Roberts goes, "I'd like to introduce the only man to ever beat Steve Austin and The Rock in the same night to become the first ever undisputed champion." And Jericho comes out, and he basically does the same thing as last week for the first half of the segment. He does his "Come on, baby!" Gets the crowd to cheer, goes on each turnbuckle, soaks it in, gets the crowd to chant Y2J but in the midst of it, you see him ask himself why.
Yeah,
Which says to you it could lead to one possible conclusion where he's just gonna keep doing this and then eventually be like, "Why are you morons still cheering? I can't believe you did this. I honestly came out to test to see if you idiots would cheer for me, and you're still doing it and I'm doing nothing." And then he fully register himself as a heel.
I don't think it'll be that overt, but I think part of the psychology here is he questions why the fans are doing anything anymore. And he had that in his last run too. He really questioned and challenged the fans, and this time he's coming back after being such a horrible person the last time he was here, and that we're cheering for him. He's like, why? Why are you people cheering me? I don't understand.
But
and
yeah,
that's a totally good way to go with it. I'd be
yeah.
totally happy if it did like that.
This is something I missed from when I watched it. Like before he started crying, like I didn't notice that, but according to the results, like he says to himself why, and then he pretty much acts like he's crying, and as the crowd continues cheering, though a few people get silent, there are a few stray boos, and he's like very milking his sort of fake crying, and sets down the microphone, and his music with his music still playing, he exits the ring, and he hasn't spoken. He goes up the ramp and he stops, gives the crowd a thumbs up, and as he's still crying, he leaves.
And as this all happens, even after he leaves, the crowd is still cheering because this crowd is dumb.
No, don't call the crowd dumb. They're doing
No.
what they're supposed to be doing, man.
No, but like even like
No, that's not dumb.
last week,
What do you call it?
no. Last week, last week the crowd got it right because the entire time that segment was happening, they were gradually getting more boos until all of them were either booing or like, what the fuck happened? This week, even as Jericho left and was crying like a baby, they were still cheering for him like mad.
How can you call that dumb? That's what the crowd's supposed to be doing right now. It's supposed to be a kind of a confusing segment here. That's what it is. Last week he came out and defied the expectations and he got booed. This week we kind of know what to expect. He gave us something a little bit different, but we're still cheering it because we kind of got it figured it out. But you can't sit there and call the crowd dumb for having a natural reaction and doing what they're supposed to be doing too. You can't sit there and tell me the crowd is supposed to start gradually booing him just from him not saying anything and him starting to cry. Obviously, he's treating the crowd like it's smart, and the crowd is smart, and they're reacting in a smart way. They're defying the expectations of the organization, what they're being presented, but the organization is getting smart to them doing that, so they're kind of having fun with that as part of the feud now. So the game is changing a little bit.
Well, speaking of feud, though, I mean, would everyone else? Does everyone else assume that he's not going to be saying anything in 2 days?
He's not going to be saying anything until after the Royal Rumble, I don't think.
Yeah, because that's the general theory, is that he won't say anything. He will fucking be the dark horse in the Rumble, win it, because the plans were originally Randy Orton, but he's sidelined due to an injury.
Yeah.
These are the rumors.
For the better.
There's two things I'm hoping for in this whole thing. Like, he doesn't keep talking. Like, I'm going with Tifus on the fact that he's really not going to make a major statement until after WrestleMania. But I'm hoping, like, two things.
No, are you kidding?
God damn it. I mean, Royal Rumble. I'm sorry. Royal Rumble. The Road to WrestleMania, botch, whatever. Who the fuck? But anyway,
I'm hoping it's lay off the fruity pebbles there, buddy. I think they're starting to slur your speech.
Yeah.
I'll shove those pebbles up. Well, I'll get to that later. But
Woo.
anyway,
Kinky.
I'm hoping he's going to.
That's some restraint.
I'm hoping he gets to two things. One, after either this is going to lead to Punk and Jericho going for the title, or let's just say Jericho keeps doing this, like going out and trolling the fans, and the Undertaker shows up and interrupts him, thus setting up for a awesome WrestleMania match that could happen. That's the dream fan wish, but I think the Punk thing's the more safer bet, which would likely happen.
Plus, the Punk thing the Punk thing makes sense when you look at the It Begins videos, because all the symbolism that people have put toward it, like reclaim what is his, how CM Punk keeps saying he's the best in the world when Jericho thinks he's the best in the world and all that stuff.
Oh, totally agree. I mean, the smart money, it's going to be Punk and Jericho. But, my dream fan wish, it's like, oh, next WrestleMania match is going to be Undertaker and Jericho. That's the fan in me talking. The smart one in me is like, no, Punk, Jericho, and that still is going to be fine with me.
Honestly, like I still think that they're keeping Undertaker under wraps. They'll probably, if nothing else, have him come back at after the Royal Rumble like they did last year. Of course,
possibly in the Royal Rumble.
But at the same time, like again, I've said it before. I think if they manage to do it, then Undertaker versus Lesnar is the logical decision for this year's Rumble.
Oh, that too.
Especially if it's going to be 20-0, then it should probably be Lesnar. And it'll definitely get eyeballs from different demographics or like.
I have my idea that I thought up when I was watching SmackDown is, as a way to get Daniel Bryan over as a big heel, is to have him, start, making people tap out left and right with a label lock, and then the Undertaker comes back, and Daniel Bryan, he does his frightened heel slimy shit sort of thing, and then when they get to WrestleMania and it's him versus Undertaker for the world title, he catches Undertaker off guard with a label lock and makes him tap.
That is as good as a pipe dream, but I've actually heard it from someone who I've heard it from the suggestion from some sources who I honestly wouldn't think are taken to such fantasy booking.
It would be better than I think everybody wants to see him get to 20 at least, but there's obviously probably not going to be any 21. So if there was anybody for him to lose to, it would be a younger guy that they're pushing right now. Because
I agree with you that much, but I don't think with the way Daniel Bryan's going right now, I don't think that would be right.
I think that it would be better than having him lose to a one-off like if they brought Lesnar back.
Oh no, I fully agree with you. It needs to be someone young, but they have a lot of hope for with the future for carrying the company and being a big long-term name.
Just wait. They get.
I'm just saying with the way Daniel Bryan is going right now, and it's way too early to say anything about where he'll be in a year. I don't think so.
Yeah, just wait in a year's time. They get a big hair up their ass about Tyson Kidd and having beat Undertaker at WrestleMania.
That would be awesome.
And then the very next night he jobs and he doesn't win any more matches.
Yeah,
that would be.
Undertaker taps out to Linus.
That would be even more. If he just beats the Undertaker and never accomplishes anything else.
God.
No, that would be WWE just the most blatant fan trolling ever.
Yeah.
He is the most dominant wrestler to ever appear on Superstars.
All right, let's
even then he still can't beat Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, let's talk about the next segment after the Jericho promo. We have our Divas match. Eve Torres versus Kane. Remember that match, guys?
Oh man, that was a great match.
Yes, this is where we get into full-fledged 80s horror film zone.
Match of the year.
Wow.
Yes.
Just wow.
Eve comes out and her music, all that fun stuff. Her music stops. Justin Roberts before the opponent's music starts playing, and her opponent, kaboom, it's Kane. And Kane doesn't come out, but Eve tries to bolt, and Zack Ryder comes to the rescue. And they run to the loading dock from the beginning of the show, and they get into Zack's car, which is this really ugly lime or mint green.
It's just a rental car, dude. Don't even dwell on it.
That's just something that comes to mind. Anyway, they put Eve in the car, and Eve's like, Zack, the tire's flat.
Oh my God, Zack, hurry! He's like, the tire's been slashed, and he goes to the back and pulls out the spare tire and starts trying to take the lug nuts off the fucking tire that's on the car.
Which takes less time than finding another car.
Yeah, and the big problem is like we're all sitting here like you're trying to be in the segment, in the moment and everything, watching this, really enthralled and everything. But all any of us could sit here and say is, why isn't he putting the jack under the car and jacking it up? What the fuck? Hasn't he ever changed a tire? What the fuck are you doing, Zack?
Well, somebody must have informed him in the commercial break, because when we come back, he's got the jack on, the car's lifted up, and he's starting to put the new tire on.
It was just one of those things. It's like,
and they don't even show any concern about it, because after they show that footage, it's like, oh, Cena's coming.
Cena and Dolph Ziggler.
Announcers don't even acknowledge it.
Here's another gripe. We'll just get right into Dolph Ziggler versus John Cena, because after the break, Ryder is still changing the tire.
Yeah, because that's so resolved. I mean, and Cena, his best buddy, and helping him out against Kane and everything. Yeah, he's okay. I'm just gonna go out here and do my match.
No, exactly. It's basically like there are so many segments where they show people in the back watching high definition TVs of what's going on.
Yeah.
And yet,
you expect us to believe Cena doesn't know something just fucking happened? He's obviously in the gorilla position as soon as Eve goes out there, because his match is next.
And then they would have fit, and it would have fit the storyline in general. Like, say Dolph Ziggler goes up first, I'm a show off, down on my head, and then John Cena's about to come out. I'm gonna do it for the kids. Sees his friend get in trouble, runs out, count to 10.
Yeah.
Ziggler picks up a heel victory.
Yeah,
And
why not?
honestly, I just don't buy into it because there's nowhere in an arena during one of their shows where you can't hear what's going on the microphone. You can't hear the pyro going off or the music blaring through the speakers. You know what's happening. You know when someone is doing something in the arena.
And it makes even less sense because it's like the Ziggler and Cena are starting the pretty much the chain wrestling early portion of the match when someone just decides to put the footage of Zack being attacked by Kane on the Titantron.
Yeah.
Fucking
Who
distracting.
does that? I mean, when there's a match going on, you always just show the match on the Tron. It's one of those things like unless something starts during the match in the backstage area, you never cut from the match. It's what the fuck, guys?
TNA did that shit like in 2010. Remember that they had like a Kaz match going on with somebody else, and then they cut to a backstage segment that was going on.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
I remember years ago on SmackDown, right after it was right after either WrestleMania or Judgment Day. They had a backstage segment where, well, actually they had a match. It was like a cruiserweight fatal 4-way. I don't remember who it was. Tajiri and a few other guys. And in the middle of the match, they cut to Eddie Guerrero walking backstage, and they have a 5-minute backstage segment in the middle of the match, and they cut back to the match after it.
what the.
This Dolph Ziggler John Cena thing. They cut to to Zack finishing putting the tire on, and then we see Kane come in and beat the
Who took his
holy hell out
fucking
of Zack
time
Ryder.
while Zack Ryder was doing all this, by the
Yeah,
way. What type of opportune killer?
Yeah, Kane may as no, they wanted to do it for the effect, but Kane may as well have. Zack Ryder may as well have turned to Kane with Kane saying, "You forgot to throw out your lug nuts,
Yeah.
your spare lug nuts." It could have just full blown made it a comedy segment, but obviously that's not their priority, understandably so. But nonetheless, a lot of narm in this. Kane chokeslams Ryder pretty much authorized area to a bunch of wood pallets.
And it would have been totally convincing if we never saw a shot of like him down or how big that fall was beforehand in the early portion of the show where they were brawling. If they would have kept the camera off that side, he got thrown over, a little more convincing on the hurting.
Well, don't forget that actually something I noticed was that when he does the choke slam to him, you see Zack, he falls off the ledge, but then you see him bounce up as if he landed on the foam pad.
It's like, wow, Kane chokeslam Ryder down onto that crash mat.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of, a foot below the thing. And then when they cut back, when John Cena is being choked out by Kane, Zack's like fucking 5 feet down and he's dead.
It's like, I almost wish JR was here commentating this so he'd be like, Zack Ryder goes down on that implement that stuntmen use. Just happened to be there.
Yeah.
And it mysteriously vanished.
Yeah, this is like an 80s slasher movie. No kidding.
Oh, and don't forget, during this whole time, before John Cena runs out, Dolph Ziggler jumps out of the ring and puts the sleeper on him. And after that, when Cena runs back, the ref is still counting, and Vicky's like, "Get in the ring! Get in the ring, Dolph! You're gonna lose!"
Yeah.
We never did see if the referee finished the 10 count.
But yeah, goddamn, it's like we compared it to an 80s slasher movie.
He did finish the 10 count.
But it's like down to the goofs. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't.
And this is taking more precedence over the fact that Dolph Ziggler has a title shot.
Yeah, it's like, let's see, this takes more precedence. This cliffhangs the show more than CM Punk's match, than Jericho, than even Funkasaurus. Like,
it's like they're going that hard. Like, I gotta say, I didn't give a shit when Kane put his mask on. I didn't care before. I'm not saying I hate the guy or anything like that. He's done a lot for the company. And if this is like his last run, go right ahead. But it's like, I don't care if they put the mask back on him. That doesn't make him any more interesting. If anything, he looks like Rainn Wilson in Super. And if they would have had like
It's pure fan service, is what it is.
Yeah, it makes him at least look scary again.
It is, but at the same time, it's like I already saw your face. What's the point? That's just me. I mean, Tifus brings up
I like it.
fan service, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but that's the reason why. But it's like if you're gonna make us, if you're gonna put that much work into this character and try to make us care, do something that's not this stupid.
Yeah, you're right. They definitely blew away like any kind of. I'm not saying any kind of threat that Kane has, but he doesn't look like him.
It really undermined it. It's like, okay, he had the killer, and then now we just did this goofy segment when he could have just taken a lead pipe, beat the shit out of Ryder. Eve finds him, and then John Cena swears vengeance, and then he comes up from Messina and then chokes him, which would have been just as fitting, saved time, and made Kane look demented and fucking powerful.
Instead, they had to go with corniness. But let's move on to SmackDown. I'm sure. I mean,
before we begin, it's nice to know that with the Kane segment, that Vince McMahon's relevance towards pop culture has finally gotten up to 1985.
Exactly. Dear God. But we're talking about SmackDown. It's definitely or probably not going to go on nearly as many tangents because that show is usually straightforward. But we start out with World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan cutting a promo, and honestly, like Raw or SmackDown, I never really expected to say that. For him to be the opening promo.
Well, you kind of see over the last few weeks they tried to really push Ryder, Punk, and Daniel Bryan as like the guys to watch, and they kind of have lower ratings, so they're kind of going back to their safe zone a little bit. I think they'll creep back into really pushing them harder, though.
Yeah, maybe they might even try again like after the Super Bowl ends because like again I still talk back to those commercials which advertise like the World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan will be defending his title for the first time ever in Madison Square Garden. Subject to change, I know, but why would they produce commercials?
Well, I think after this week we only have a few bowl games left for Monday nights, so.
But yeah,
none of them are all that big.
But yeah,
nonetheless, start the show off. So we start off with Daniel Bryan. He comes down to the ring.
Oh, we're all done with bowl games. I'm sorry. It's over.
Yes. Actually, something I have to say about Bryan. I think the reason why like I said earlier, I was going to explain why I'm not a big fan of his heel turn. The big reason for it is that it's so abrupt. And it's like they're not handling it the right way. They're trying to make him like a slimy heel who's trying to be the smiley happy dude as well. But,
no. People have suggested that maybe he's just in over his head and he doesn't really realize that he's being a dick, and he doesn't realize that he's just trying to project like an image of a champion, someone who's very confident, someone who's like he wants to sort of rise to the occasion. And like even if that isn't the case, even if they are kind of going about it the wrong way, he's doing everything that he can to get it over.
But
he is doing everything.
One of the big problems that I see with it is now that he's a bad guy, it's giving Michael Cole all the justification in the world to bash him.
But see, that's interesting to me because if he's a heel, like if he's a heel and Michael Cole still shitting on him, then there's a chance that like they may still want to put him over like that, be it making him incredibly tough somewhere down the line, or possibly having him redeem himself and making this heel turn a sort of a weird glimpse.
But if it was up to me, the way that I would have done this angle is that I would have had the roles be reversed. You know, Bryan would still be champion, but it would have been Big Show that turned heel because everybody would be, you know, mentioning to him that he had the shortest reign in WWE history.
Here's what I think the WWE basically thought. They thought that if they had attempted to turn Big Show heel, it wouldn't have worked because the crowd would have still been cheered for him, and like comparatively, like they don't know as much as about him about Bryan Danielson as they do about him. So they didn't think a Big Show heel turn would work. Granted, that's what they were hinting at for maybe the first week that Daniel Bryan was champion, but
with my gripe with the heel turn, I don't mind if you do an abrupt heel turn as long as you would justify it, like with what he's gonna do in the ring and story wise, there's a justification for it. But it's just like the way this could have been improved. They're doing heel work. Like, if they're gonna have Danielson be a heel, that's fine, but you could fix it really easily. Just have him like go in there, fuck people up, and then he's a heel that's a sadistic bastard that happens to know how to really twist and bend a body. That's all he really needs to do is just tap motherfuckers out and just really
Yeah.
enjoy doing
I
it
mean,
and hurt it.
honestly, if
Make him into a Chris Benoit kind of character, a sadistic tap out machine, like kind
Which
of
they
like Chris
could have.
Benoit or
They
Taz.
could have totally done that, but the thing that Chris Benoit didn't have, Chris Benoit didn't have this going against him that Bryan Danielson has. Chris Benoit didn't have to suffer through an entire season of NXT and Michael Cole bashing him, so that didn't take away his momentum. If he wasn't on NXT and just would have popped in the WWE, he could have been played that way, definitely. But that holding against him, it's like it works against him.
I don't think being on NXT or Michael Cole ragging on him really hurt him all that much. If anything, he's probably one of the few people that really did benefit from Michael Cole being a raging monkey.
I hate to say it, but like out of everyone from NXT season 1, he's the most over, and that's by a fucking lot.
I just mean like not saying like he didn't get over. I'm just saying like he could have had more of a "I'm gonna fuck you up" or.
And besides, like no, but even,
I don't think that hurt that whole idea of him being able to fuck anyone up. I think NXT actually really gave us a platform to see what he could do before mixing him in with the
plus I think they can make that. I think the WWE can make him a badass if they want.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to do that right now.
But no,
I like
right
it,
now,
but...
I like what they're doing with him right now. I hate to disagree with you, Subrick. Well, that's a lie. I love disagreeing with you, but
that's what this whole show was based off of.
You're wrong. It's about agreement and love and happiness.
What do you know about love? What do you know?
I thought we weren't gonna go here.
Oh, now you made him mad.
I made him cry.
That's what he sounds like when he's mad.
They're angry tears.
You put me in such a rage. You put me in such a rage. Give us one more chance, Dixie.
Subrick, why are you calling my tears delicious and kinky?
Because they are.
This is really weird.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Daniel Bryan.
Tears of unfathomable sadness.
I just want to say real quick, I love the way they're going with his character right now. With the whole he's talking like he's the same old Daniel Bryan, but his actions are speaking louder than his words. I think that's great, and it's a slow build to me.
And I'm cool with that. I just wish that his actions in the ring, instead of like DQ counts and things like that, like if they start like making PM tap. If they start making Danielson,
believe me, especially hey, here's the thing about it: the faces that he has as opponents are fucking huge. And while Vince has been moving away from the whole big guys idea, be it from a bodybuilder standpoint or whatever, he still doesn't believe that someone of Daniel Bryan's size, never mind his skill, could beat someone that big. But at that, also people like the Big Show and Mark Henry, who are well established. Like he's basically like I'd say in Vince's mind, like the character Daniel Bryan, never mind Bryan Danielson, is still paying his dues.
Yeah.
Even though he has.
And to be honest, I don't really see too much difference between this and him being a heel on the indie circuit.
No, there isn't a difference. My only difference is that when he was on the heel circuit, I mean, in the indies doing heel shit, he was still making motherfuckers tap on a daily basis. That's what I want to see more on TV.
Well, even as a babyface, being like super pushed over, he's working with Mark Henry and Big Show, dude. It's just not physically practical.
Dude, that's the thing about submissions, though. Submissions, you take out a big guy, little guy.
No. Even in the world of submissions and technical wrestling, yeah, it does mitigate the size factor some. But when the size difference is that drastic, it's really not believable to see a guy as small as Daniel Bryan twist Big Show up into a fucking pretzel.
Well, I could see where you're coming from with that, but I'm just arguing like just straight submission wrestling. It's like you can make that believable, but it all goes into the ring, how the performers play it. And again, I totally believe that if you know how to rightfully put on a submission, especially Danielson, how he's built up in WWE as Daniel Bryan, like submission master, a submission master would know how to put on a move that would make someone like that tap.
I think it works better that they don't have him try to go for submissions on guys that much bigger than him, because
or at least this quick.
Yeah, because it kind of helps play into the whole I got to be a sleazeball to get past this. I mean, he's been dealing with these guys for months. He tried to be the good baby face. It didn't help him any. Now he's being a sleazeball, and it's working. So,
I like to see that deviation.
And not only that, but like...
I'll say this. I agree with you. At some point, he does need to start getting legitimate wins, even as a heel, even as a slime ball. But with Big Show, I don't think a submission win is going to work.
Well,
to
maybe
get
not with Big Show, but at least let's say if he gives the world title match next week, like with Henry, make him tap or something. Even if you have to like beat his ass with say he beats the arm with the chair or lower back, and then puts the lapel lock on it.
The whole match, you can just cheat and use all these fucking foreign objects and everything, but the finish you want.
Yeah,
still.
like or
Okay.
play it up psychology wise. He beats limbs with those like weapons, and then the limb he puts in a submission hold.
And then he can still go on to boast and brag about I made him tap out, even though it's really more due to the foreign object damage. I see what you're saying. I like that. Like, I can get behind that.
And actually, also from all indications, from the way they're dragging this out, he will have a match on Friday with Mark Henry for the title. But they seem to be hinting at that there's going to be a three-way, a triple threat match between Mark Henry, Big Show, and Daniel Bryan at Royal Rumble. That'll be interesting. Like that.
Yeah, that's where it's like, okay, bust out the weapons, whoop ass, Daniels, and you need to get over these guys because you got to take them twice at once.
But nonetheless, we better move on to the actual substance of this promo because
we're getting on to the 2-hour mark of this show.
But yeah, basically, Daniel Bryan is he's talking about how great it feels to be the world heavyweight champion and how it's a dream come true and how he successfully defended the title last week against the man he won the title from Big Show. But and he's like don't get mad at him. He deserved that title shot, especially after how short he held the belt originally before I beat him.
Yeah.
Being as douchey as ever with that point. He's like I'm a fighting champion. Other people would have moved on, but like I like to defend. I like to prove myself by defending my belt. But he's like, unfortunately, there's about that match. I would never want to tell my future grandchildren that it had to be won by disqualification. That I don't want my epic matches to be finished like that. And also,
Kitty.
I hear pussy in the background.
That is probably one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard you say.
Yeah, what do you
one of being the key words.
Yes.
Oh boy, but
I have so many more. I'm here till next week.
Okay, let's get on with it.
But nonetheless, he doesn't want to hear the people in the crowd buying into what's being told about him on message boards, saying he's like, I did not goad Mark Henry to get the Big Show disqualified. He's like, I'm calling out a few people online, and he mentions a username, like just as kind of stock, like a username with a bunch of numbers next to it.
Heyman Rules 512.
Heyman Rules. Oh,
and I looked up that on Twitter, and that is a real Twitter. And I'm pretty sure it was made just in response to it, but it has a bunch of tweets on it that is like, Daniel Bryan sucks. Why is he the world champion?
They'll reveal that it was set up by Cole. But nonetheless, he's like, I'd just like to say that those charges are all dung. Nothing but a bunch of dung.
It's better than saying those charges are poopy.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But nonetheless,
this is SmackDown. There's no Cena to be around.
Yeah, he said you saw Raw. I told Big Show he could challenge me anytime, anywhere, and the match is tonight, and I'm thrilled about that. And he wants to make sure that nothing bad happens in this match. It'll be no disqualification. There won't be any count out. And but I think that's excessive, because all the problems in the last match came from Mark Henry. And if it was up to him, he should have been suspended because he ruined not only did he ruin a great world championship match, but Mark Henry's
somebody's going to get their ass kicked.
Chocolate drop. I would have
drop.
That move would draw so many buys. They just made Mark Henry do the chocolate drop at WrestleMania.
I still want to get a petition going to have him change the name from World's Strongest Slam to Chocolate Drop. And it wouldn't be racist because he used to be called Sexual Chocolate, which itself was racist because there was no precedent for it.
Yeah. But Mark Henry is he's like, did I hear that right? You want me suspended? And honestly, if I would have gotten my pretty much Daniel Bryan, you would have gotten your money's worth if I was suspended, because not only did Big Show have a meeting with Teddy Long, but I did. After the disqualification last week, Teddy Long offered me a title rematch for next week's SmackDown. And because you goaded me, I'll be banned from ringside. How's that? And Daniel Bryan tries to save face. He says, "Well, that's great. The match has nothing to do with you. You don't need to be there." And I keep going back and forth, but basically the Henry said he's getting the match next week because he won't be around at ringside. If he could keep that up, then Teddy Long will give him the match. But not after like a bit of tension, Daniel Bryan accepts next week's match.
Did he sound like when he's accepted it though? He was like, "Sure, I'll take it." Because I kind of got that little. I've heard a little yelp in there. I didn't know if his voice cracked or he was trying to play it up like he was kind of cowardly but still into it.
Yeah. I think it was probably the latter. Like he was trying to play it up as like uneasy, but he's like, yeah, I'll take it. What else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Honestly, like again, this guy isn't being booked like Colin Delaney. He's cutting extended promos. He's pretty much standing his ground.
He's standing his ground, but don't do the yelp like, "Oh, I'm scared," because the Daniel Bryan that stood his ground like a couple weeks ago on SmackDown, where he's like, "I'll meet you in the ring, Mark." I want that guy to answer his next challenge. That would have been cool to be like, "Fine, I'm here. Let's do it."
But
we go to commercial, and we come to our very first match of the night: Justin Gabriel versus T-Pus's favorite wrestler, Heath Slater.
Woohoo!
And he's also the Arrow's favorite.
Heath Slater, aka the one-man rock band, aka he lost to the fucking Leprechaun,
AKA his career died a long time ago.
We talked
aka
about
the chick from Wendy's.
Okay. We talked about this with Jinder Mahal and a little bit with Kofi. Again, there's nothing wrong with Heath Slater as a wrestler, really. I mean, he's not even bad in the ring. He's actually pretty good in the ring if you watch him. And it's not even his look that's bad. I mean, he looked pretty damn good. New ring gear. The hair is not really a problem for him. It's not his face or anything. It's his personality. That's the problem. That's
He talks so dull. That's one of the big problems. He talks in that I don't even know how to do it. That West Virginia accent.
He doesn't even talk like he's dull. He's just a fucking gump.
I mean, he doesn't sound like a prideful Southern guy. He sounds like a rube, basically.
He sounds like Forrest Gump.
Like, there's nothing.
That's what I said. He's a gump. He's a gump.
Like, it's like he's not a Dusty. He's not certainly not a Stone Cold, like someone who fucking wears their Southern accent with pride. He just sounds like a rube. But
it sounds like he's ashamed of it.
Kind of like Clarice Starling, but
yeah, but Clarice Starling learned how to hit her accent, kind of.
Oh yeah, she did. But nonetheless, Justin Gabriel versus Heath Slater. This SmackDown had about like 50 matches, and all of them were like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I've beaten Rey Mysterio 600 times and never lost. I've fought him 600 times.
What are you reading?
No, that was a CM Punk quote.
Oh yeah.
To put over exaggeration, but this match again, it's what you'd expect from a Justin Gabriel versus Heath Slater match or a match on NXT 1. It was.
And again, it wasn't a bad match. It's just
competent work. Yeah.
There was no time for it, which means that nobody really had the energy or the want to get involved, to get into it.
And there's that, and the fact that despite both looking like stars, I mean, they both had new ring gear, they both looked great, they both performed well. We really don't know anything about these guys. Who the fuck are they? Like, we know their names. We know
they're just sort of slapped into the middle of the show to do nothing really. I mean, what has Justin Gabriel done since the breakup of the Core?
Growing a beard.
Kind of interfered with Heath Slater on and off. That's about it.
Yes.
Growing a beard.
All Heath Slater has done is,
lose the Hornswoggle.
He did have a video package of how proud he was about performing in South Africa. That's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was back on NXT 1.
No, that wasn't. Nope, not at all.
Nope, he had it on SmackDown.
This was this year. It was 2011 rather.
Oh.
But it was right after the core broke up. Basically, it seemed like they were trying to push him, but then I think he said wrestling one too many times in his promo. No, I'm kidding. But nonetheless,
Michael Cole says
I see
wrestling.
what you
Now,
did
this is the
there.
guy that Michael Cole, the guy that once told CM Punk, "You're not a wrestler, you're a WWE superstar." He says wrestling all the time now.
yeah, I know it's kind of. I think those rumors were
They
absolutely.
kind of got away from it.
Yeah.
But-
Basically, Gabriel, they have a back and forth. Slater seems like he's about to get the advantage when Hornswoggle's cheerful Irish fiddle music plays, and Gabriel boots Slater off the top rope and hits the 450. There's your match.
1, 2, 3. Justin Gabriel wins. Hornswoggle will. I'm waiting for. I'm wondering if they're going to do a Hornswoggle versus Heath Slater series of matches.
You know what I
like
actually
they did
hate?
they did with Hornswoggle and Chavo loses, and Chavo and Heath, they lose every fucking
Well, see,
match.
here's the thing. At least this time it won't be humiliating for a performer that has promised and didn't yet burn his bridges.
Yeah.
But hey, what I hate about this actually is that Hornswoggle actually hasn't spoken for a few weeks, and I thought he
Good.
like my
That's a good thing.
no. My tolerance of him severely upped like ever since he learned how to speak.
Yeah.
I never let him around the ring. Fuck that.
I was going to, when he first started talking, when Santa Foley gave him the gift of speech, it seemed like he was going to be more bearable. But then he comes out in the Slammies the next day and talks in jive.
Yeah. He's always.
He talks in jive while wearing a huge afro wig.
Oh yeah.
No.
You're right about that. That whole show was pretty bad beyond like CM Punk's Laurinaitis segment and a few other things.
And the Kane return and all that fun stuff.
But yeah,
Justin Gabriel wins. Heath Slater gets literally walked over by Hornswoggle a couple of times. No doubt a metaphor for his future. And so we cut back and Daniel Bryan is stretching and AJ.
No, hey, your voice is getting too deep and too whispery. Basically, AJ tells Daniel Bryan that she's proud of him regardless of how the match ended, and she loves him.
Bitches love Danielson.
That's actually he's actually been able to get a lot of very good tail since he's joined the company. I mean, beyond
Those
the
chicks
Bellas.
want to see his American Dragon. I can't blame them.
I mean, fuck Gail Kim and then AJ. That's perfect.
Well, don't forget he was with the belt. Well, as vacuous as their personalities are or lack thereof, I wouldn't. I don't think any of us here would be. If they had the Bellas on their arm,
Well, yeah, considering us, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. I
think considering how little of anything past posing for the camera the Bellas have, they'd just be a quick fix and then go away.
Together, they're not an 8. They're just 2 4s.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we come back and Cody Rhodes enters and cuts a pretty good promo. Although it's very degrading to the Hispanic population. But hey, he's the heel, right?
What's his thing with Spanish population? I remember that one time where DiBiase and him were just ripping that last time. I think it was in
it was in
Texas.
It was in Corpus Christi, as a matter of fact.
It's classic heel baiting. The thing there's a little thing that happened in this promo that I think tied into his not his baiting the Hispanic population in the arena quite nicely is he mentions that all the Intercontinental champions that he's passed by and that he's what's the word?
All from Texas, aren't they?
He mentions that he's better than Pedro Morales and better than Tito Santana. He's mentioning all the Hispanic Intercontinental
No, but
champions.
Booker T and Goldust.
That's more of a clever and subtle way how to do it. I just don't like the cheapy where it's like, I'm here in this town. Mexicans? Okay, fine. INS. It just seems like that's forced while doing the Intercontinental Champion things, and they all happen to be Latin. That's more subtle and natural. That's all I'm saying. If the execution was better, I wouldn't be like,
Yes.
I did,
tell
however.
tell that to JBL. That man is the master of subtle cheat.
no, JBL's the shit. I will never. He did that perfectly.
I
Yeah,
do like.
there's
However,
nothing subtle about JBL though.
I do like how
But he was JBL.
how
Hence why
Cody
I said
basically.
wink. Hence why I said wink, wink.
I do like the way Cody got to the point of the promo though. He basically said he's an Intercontinental Champion, but I'm gonna enter the Royal Rumble, and after WrestleMania, I will pull an Ultimate Warrior.
That could mean so many things. He says.
Yeah.
That means
What
next
good
Christmas
aspect of-
SmackDown, he'll rape Santa.
Oh, so is he real? Is he going to change his real name to Dashing, and he's going to go to a rival promotion and cut a 20-minute opening promo
and just
and have a trap door?
and injure Wade Barrett when he jumps ship to that promotion. So
Yeah.
that
Also a magic mirror.
yeah, we almost spoke about the possibility of that regarding Kane, but we'll see.
That
He's
was good. That was a good. That was good.
no, you know what I mean. But
Hey, don't forget, actually on Monday they did do the Kane and the magic mirror thing with Zack Ryder when he's brushing his teeth in the bathroom.
no,
Yeah.
they hinted that it was going to be kind of like a Halloween thing, but nonetheless, he says after WrestleMania, I will be both Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Champion. The Royal Rumble is where it all starts. I like the promo just because it puts over the importance of this pay-per-view and the
start
showcase
to the road.
match.
And the start to the
Yeah.
road to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Eh,
this is where their
sorry.
booking gets succinct.
And like, here's one thing I got from this promo. It's gonna be a really interesting Raw when they come to town in San Diego, just to see what promo he's gonna pull. If he's gonna try to do the same shit or just be relaxed. Maybe I'll go and see it. Maybe I won't.
But
But it'd be cool to see my
I
hometown
just
react
think
to
it's
that.
funny. I just think it's funny because they talk about there's like no off season in wrestling, and that's true and everything from a physical standpoint. But from a booking standpoint, it's like every other part of the year is just okay, whatever. We're just waiting for WrestleMania season. When WrestleMania starts, and that's like the I don't want to call it the playoffs because that feels like the playoffs is all in one night at WrestleMania, but like the season, if you could say there's a season in this sport, if you want to call it that, it's January through April 1st.
okay.
So that's just an observation from me. So
Yeah, but anyway,
We have the match.
he ends the promo by saying "Arriba" a few times, and I think that was another kind of nod to Tito Santana, making
And
fun
so
of him.
and now we have Cody Rhodes versus the newly haired Ezekiel Jackson. Thank fuck, because we don't have to look at his fat folds anymore.
and he was actually talking to Trent Beretta about his hair on Twitter, and then apparently he quoted some of us from our tweets saying, "See, these guys like me with hair."
Oh yeah, he did. He retweeted us, and he was like, "See, some people like it."
Yeah.
So,
Zeke
this
Jackson,
match
everyone.
happens. This match happens. This match was like 2 minutes.
Good.
just-
I hope every Jack match is 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I just don't like how aside from Bobby Lashley, every big powerhouse black guy wrestler they put in red tights and make just like Ahmed Johnson.
Well,
And they'll
he's
never
gotten
have
sma-
anything
He's
what
gotten
Ahmed had.
smaller and don't forget he's gotten smaller and less shiny now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
Well, that's
a
I feel
lot
like-
of the Ahmed Johnson comparison goes away when they take away the fact that he has hair now, that he isn't super shiny anymore, and the fact that he's lost some muscle.
And the fact that you feel like you could actually sneak up from him from behind now.
Yeah. So yeah, this match was like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
And
basically,
Cody wins with a beautiful disaster, and
Crossroads.
that's really it.
It's a beautiful disaster transition at a crossroads. But yeah,
This guy was a mid-card champion for a while too.
he was that didn't work.
Yeah, it was actually Cody Cody was the one that defeated Ezekiel for the belt.
And
Yeah.
he cut the best promo ever when he was just like, "You're a boring champion. I'm getting that belt back, and I'm gonna make it something again." And Cody's doing a fantastic job of doing it.
He is.
Yeah, just wish he'd
But-
defended more.
But after the match, they go to commercial. They come back from commercial, and we are reminded that WWE does not like bullies unless they are named Kane. Be a star plug. But
They remind us about the Rumble. They show
Yep.
us the Edge induction package again.
Yep.
Then we go backstage and
Really is a nice
Santina,
package.
and we get Santina, as Teddy Long called him the entire segment.
I just said Edge has a nice package.
He does.
Oh man, you've been watching the live sex celebration a few too many times, haven't you?
No. Now, if you excuse me, I need to be quiet for the next 5 minutes. And
Red tube, red tube.
stuff.
So yeah, we go backstage. We're in Teddy Long's office, and he's with Santina, as Teddy calls him the entire segment. And Santino has some match ideas. First,
And then Teddy Long chimes in with, "Oh, yeah, you got match ideas? Well, I see your list. Let me go through a list of my own. It's called the long list of reasons why I should put my foot up your ass. Reason 1, you're talking. Reason 2, that T-shirt. Reason 3, I just don't like you, player."
No, basically, it was funny though because he said, Santino was like, "I want a cage match with 2 smaller cages inside that cage," and it was like,
don't forget, the referee is the cage master. He constructed the cages.
yeah, and basically, someone on the boards succinctly put it, he just discovered the cageception match.
I think they were just trying to poke a little bit of fun at WCW.
Oh yeah.
That was the very first thing that came to mind, was the triple cage from Ready to Rumble.
Yeah. Look,
Where's Mike Awesome to throw Chris Canyon off the top of that now? Yeah.
Nonetheless,
So they had also, don't forget, also his other decision. This isn't even a match. He decides to overturn Jack Tunney's original decision and allow reptiles to come to the ring.
a real Cobra.
Motherfucker, I don't like reptiles, Santino. Don't mention a reptile in front of me or I'll bitch slap you.
I don't know what he's referring to, but if I had to guess, Jack Tunney banned Jake Snakes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
Okay,
after.
there you go.
That was after.
Perfect.
That was after he tied up Macho Man in the ropes and had Damien bite him.
Oh yeah. But nonetheless, Otunga enters the office, Johnny Ace's office, and he wants to talk about the Royal Rumble and which SmackDown wrestlers will be in there, and basically Otunga says I've listed the pros and cons of every SmackDown roster member,
And Teddy Long replies with, "This uppity motherfucker coming in here. Look at you, you house." Well, I can't finish that segment, but let's just say I'll just call you a fucking sellout. Coming up in my office telling me what to do. Look at you. Look at Martin Luther King is disappointed in you. Fucking sellout.
Magpie.
but yeah,
So Carlton Mason here. He's apparently going to be fighting in a match with Santino tonight, and then they leave. They get a knock at the door, and
Oh yeah, that's
like,
my nice white woman coming in.
It's Oksana. I need to get ready. So he adjusts his tie. Then he turns around, and who else would it be but the chosen one? The chosen one, Drew McIntyre, otherwise known as, will be released in the next month or 2.
yeah.
Listen, William-
Look for the spring cleaning, the post WrestleMania releases.
You guys are trying to put way too much humor into this very, very boring segment.
Well, it is Drew
difficult.
McIntyre.
I'm just saying.
And
And
again,
summing up what Teddy's thinking. Listen, William Wallace, you have to win your match tonight, otherwise I'm kicking your ass out. Now make haste. I got a chick from Europe, from a country I can't even pronounce, coming in soon. Go.
Lithuania.
country matters.
Lithuania.
So they go to commercial. We come back, and Drew McIntyre versus Ted DiBiase, and a Drew needs to win, or maybe he might lose his job, but it would make more sense to milk the shit out of it storyline.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, and don't forget, at the very beginning of this match, Hunico and Camacho come down in his bicycle. And they're on commentary for the match. And they're awful. They're so awful.
Actually, I don't mind Hunico, but I think he's fine. But like, a lot of more racial stereotypes with this.
You mean
Look
to
up for
tell
the
me that
Barrios,
the third
homeboy.
time you mean to tell me that the third time they ever have a guy speak on camera and it's on commentary and it's bad? No. I can't believe that.
Yeah, the entire, and he's like, why, like, Hunico, why did you, like, Camacho, why are you with Hunico? He saved my life in the barrio, man. I owe my life to him, man. And
Oh, God.
it's
They're
neither
trying
of
to
them.
amp it up so bad, and it's just stop it, guys. I'm seriously waiting for someone to sit there and say, "We don't need no stinking badges. We got the guns." And yeah,
Yeah.
that would just make
You know, the fact that
that
they're
happen.
Mexican, the fact that they're supposed to be Mexican gangsters, it's really compounded by the fact that, you know, they come out to the ring on a bicycle.
That's actually kind of a gangsta thing, but it doesn't translate well
They don't
outside.
Yeah,
even
it really doesn't.
he
Yeah, I
doesn't
mean, if
pedal the bicycle. He just sort of walks it.
And
It's
all
Because
like
and,
they're on the
Italian,
ramp. He doesn't need to pedal. He's got gravity.
it's like Italian Batman in reverse.
but
Yeah.
nonetheless, yeah. Among the great moments of commentary was Unico admiring Booker T's watches, and obviously we know the implication of that. And Cole saying, "Oh, look, he'd probably make a lot of money at the pawn shop."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I know you're trying to be buddy buddy with the heels, but don't fucking sound like you're talking down to them.
And so, as all this is going on, there's apparently some wrestling going on in the ring.
Mm.
Which is that this is the second longest match of the night. They don't mention it once.
Yeah.
So Ted DiBiase wins. Drew's probably going bye-bye in a few months.
which is
Yay.
unfortunate because that's just like a
Whatever.
loss in their mid card. That's a talent.
If they're really focusing on the whole, win or lose your job thing, they're probably going to give him a push.
Which I
Probably
hope
go-
so, because that's a solid
They're
mid
probably
card
going
right there.
sympathy.
The song.
I mean, if
They're-
he turns face, he could challenge Cody if he's
yeah,
over.
that's where it's either going. It's going one of two ways. He either turns face and he gets a push, or he stays heel, he gets fired from SmackDown, but he winds up on Raw.
Or he gets fired.
I don't think they'll fire him if they're spending this much time on him already.
If anything, they could put him back in Florida and retool him a little bit. Just a thought. So
Yeah.
they go to commercial, and once again we are back with the human charisma vacuum Jinder Mahal versus
The human
versus,
Snorplex machine. But yeah, that was
versus
all.
versus King Miracle Whip.
Beautiful reference there,
Oh
Chris.
yeah, and basically before that, Jinder Mahal cuts a promo like that he's putting over the Rumble, but he says, "I like that nobody expects me to win the Royal Rumble because that's when he is most dangerous." Shut up.
You don't say. So this match happens too. This match was 5 minutes as well. I don't think any of the matches except for the main event go over 5 minutes, even with commercials.
Again,
And it's the same basic fucking Sheamus versus Jinder Mahal match.
okay.
Sheamus kicks the shit out of him for most of the match. Jinder gets like 1 or 2 moves in, does the bro kick, and Sheamus wins. It's over. Why is Jinder Mahal on my TV? Go away, please. You're awful.
Zubrick summed it up perfectly. I got nothing to say.
That's Jinder Mahal's career in like 5
It would
seconds.
be hilarious if he's like a reverse Rocky Maivia where people start giving him go away heat, and then he turns face and he gets more charismatic.
Honestly,
I can't
Well,
see.
I don't. I'm not saying
The words Jinder Mahal and charisma are oxymoronic.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
we've established that Sheamus wins again.
honestly, for this entire show, we could just sit there and say so and so has a match with so and so wins until we get to the main event. We really could.
Yeah. So yeah, after this, Big Show's in the back, and the referee tells him the rules, la-di-da, make sure he gets the 3, and then AJ comes by, yes, and I fixate on my TV as she tries to talk to Big Show about Daniel Bryan, and she tells him that Daniel's a decent guy with a good heart. Show says he's not trying to hurt Daniel, just wants his belt back. Daniel Bryan comes in and he, Big Show, you trying to take my belt? Now you're trying to take my girl too? And then Show just sort of walks away, like it's best that you leave. And and from what everyone else is saying, there's a line that Show says in here. It says Show says that the belt has changed Bryan.
And you know what? That's a very true statement, and I love that they're doing that with his character because you can sit there and compare Bryan winning the belt and turning heel to any babyface in TNA winning the belt and turning heel, and WWE does it so much better because they don't do it with every fucking individual that wins the belt. and they don't automatically have every heel in the company supporting the new champion without any real explanation or rhyme or reason. Because it's just kind of like in WWE, even the heels still want the belt, even the faces still want the belt, so they're not exactly buddies. In TNA, it's like none of these guys.
There's no middle ground.
Yeah,
It's black or white. You're either a super face or you're a super heel. There's no in between. There's no tweeners.
Kind of funny considering Vince Russo's ethos, but I guess that just means that he's what he hates.
yeah.
So yeah, so Daniel wants to know if Show is trying to intimidate AJ, and Daniel says, earlier you're like, I'm your knight in shining armor. How much do you love me, really?
Yep.
And they go to the back. We come back. We get a recap of the Royal Rumble. One thing that came to mind when I was watching these Royal Rumble recaps on the two shows, they had the '98 Rumble and the 2002 Rumble. It's really weird that it's been both 10 years and 14 years respectively for the 2002 and 1998 Rumbles. It's weird that it's been that long because it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, I like that though.
Well, I think it's because we still see Triple H on TV, we still see Kurt Angle on TV. Every once in a while, we still see Austin, and we're now seeing The Rock again. So
yeah, it's like it's like because we all grew up watching the mid late '90s WWF when Austin was raising hell every week. So seeing that, it's like watching childhood again.
Changes.
It's just although once there's in these Royal Rumble commercials, I find it funny that the announcer, he keeps saying countless unforgettable moments, apparently none of which include a certain Canadian Wolverine.
Well, let's not dwell on these promos too much because we're going to see plenty of them throughout the next few weeks.
But yeah,
match number 5.
Subric, we got to keep going because this is a long ass episode.
That's what I was about to do before you interrupted me.
Well,
match number 5.
Okay,
match
let's go
number
then.
5. David
Hey,
Otunga versus
everyone,
Santino
stop
Marella.
arguing and stop talking over each other. We got to discuss how we're going to break this down before we get into the match number 5.
Oh, come on.
Okay, match number 5. David Otunga versus Santino, in a match that, if nothing else, now shows that Otunga is using the Shrine as a finish.
Otunga gets the jobber entrance, yet he wins the match because really Santino doesn't mean shit. And
So
he wins.
Still lost.
Otunga wins. Yay, whatever. Don't fucking care. We get another promo with the Hall of Fame Horsemen. We get a Raw recap. Ugh. And now we get Funkasaurus. And here's the hilarious thing about this. Firstly, his entrance is longer than the match itself. The match is 4 seconds long.
Yeah, versus Tyson Kidd.
He's facing Tyson Kidd, but they never say who he is facing. They never mention that it's Tyson Kidd.
That's because Tyson Kidd is a jobber. Okay?
And he picks up the win
Kurt
using
Hawkins.
Damn.
Like it or not, Tyson Kidd is a jobber.
Kurt Hawkins. But nonetheless,
I have no problem with Tyson Kidd being a jobber because I never really found Tyson Kidd to be all that interesting to begin with, even when he was in Dynasty.
Basically the match is thus: running headbutt, Chihuahua finish.
Yeah, they're just trying
that should be a shirt. Arrive, Chihuahua, leave.
They'll get to it.
And then we follow suit going into our next segment where my favorite person in SmackDown, Teddy Long, is just getting down, and as he's dancing to the theme. And as he's dancing to the theme, I like to picture him thinking, oh, yeah, that's right. Get a close-up camera. See this dance? This is the dance I'm going to do on Laurinaitis' grave. And then I'm taking over Raw. Woo!
Yeah.
And now we get our favorite Lithuanian distraction, Oksana. As, she's hot, but I don't give a fuck.
She says she wants to play roulette because she loves to hit on black.
And Teddy says, I know you do, baby.
Well,
and then
that's like Teddy saying, I like my women like I like my coffee. Eastern European. I just don't like.
It's cheesy, and it's been going on for months, and it's going to keep going on. So
But
Until
yeah,
he
Hey,
has
tell you
a heart
what, give me
attack.
a pussy, I support it.
Natalia versus Tamina. Fuck me, they should treat Natalia better. Um, basically, there's a rivalry, but it's not really much because all the matches are 2 minutes.
Yeah, to be honest, outside of the match lengths for these matches, I do like that they're trying to put over Tamina more because she's another one that can actually wrestle.
Yeah, she's a good one, and she basically hits a Samoan drop and then hits a superfly splash. She wins.
Yep.
And Wade Barrett comes out and cuts another Royal Rumble promo. He basically
Wearing this awesome jacket.
he's basically not impressed with the so-called Great White. Basically, he's just a surly Irishman who has temper problems like every other Irish. Um, but unlike Barrett, who's a man of class, dignity, and civility, and he's in control of his faculties at all times. What does that mean? You can take a shit when you want. I don't like.
I don't know. I just
except-
want Sheamus to actually get involved in an angle where he accidentally hurts like R-Truth or something, so that we can get this amazing line of the Great White Guilt.
Okay.
It just came to me and I just had to say it. I'm
You know,
sorry.
the funny thing you
It
say about
works.
I think Vince McMahon would find that hilarious.
Yeah, but
I-
anyway,
I'd be hard pressed to argue that.
getting back into this though.
And basically, he challenges Sheamus to a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
Should be good. If not, we'll get a brawl out of it. Sheamus looks good. Barrett does something cool. We win.
Yep.
We win.
And he finishes it with "God Save the Queen."
Hmm.
Such a classy gentleman.
Now we go on to our main event: Daniel Bryan versus Big Show in a no DQ, no count out, no holds barred match with AJ in his corner. And hey, again, 10 minutes. They made the best of it.
Yeah.
That Daniel Bryan, I guess, as a fledgling heel, used the no DQ stip as well as he could by giving Show as many chair shots as he could.
Yeah.
But that wasn't able to stagger him. Like he would always he would always slap down Daniel Bryan with his hard strikes, but he still got back up.
Which was like some missed opportunities in there too, because there are times like when Danielson was kicking Big Show, and then Big Show would catch his kicks. There was like ample time for him to like reverse with the enziguri or just follow it up, but it was just like catch him, smack. It's like let him have some more offense other than wailing on the chair. I mean, he played smart though, so can't say it was horrible. It's just missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And it definitely did get in the way when he tried to do the running knee strike. I was just like, let him do the running knee strike. Fuck. Let him do it.
Oh wait, he caught that one too. I mean,
Yeah, he just slapped that
he
down.
he did it last week against him. It's not like
No, I'm not saying it's not new. It's just like it shows you the differences in between. Like, I don't have anything against the Big Show. He just does. He's like Kane. It doesn't interest me anymore, and there's only so much
I
he
know
can
what you mean.
do.
Especially
But he does
as a
put
big guy,
Danielson
but-
over, like
I mean,
selling and things like
but
that. I just
yeah,
wish.
he sells well. Like and again, like he made the most of Daniel Bryan's offense. And this eventually leads to a time when Show is about to advance upon Daniel Bryan. Like he gets a little bit timid about it. He starts running away from him. Big Show gives chase. They run around the outside of the ring. And then like AJ's in the way. Daniel Bryan runs past her, and Big Show basically ends up elbowing her by accident or kneeing her.
Now, I wanna
He
feel bad.
flattens her like a pancake.
I want to feel bad for AJ, but at the same time, when you see your boyfriend get chased by a mountain of a man that the Big Show is, and it's coming in your direction, no less, get the fuck out of the way.
Well, the thing is that Daniel Bryan ran past her so fast that she couldn't really, caught up in the moment.
I
The
mean, I can't really
reaction.
question it because it's part of the angle, but it's just like God, her and her character in that story and universe that the story set in, fucking
Go ahead,
stupid. She could have gotten in the way.
Well, also, I have to give props to AJ. She sold this like a boss.
Yeah,
did.
she did.
Sold a
Yeah,
lot.
she did selling like death the right way. Take
And-
notes,
and-
Jenna.
and-
Take notes. Every other diva on the roster that isn't Natalia or Beth.
Or Tamina.
You know where I see this going? You know where I see this going is that it's going to be revealed that AJ's in on it with Daniel Bryan. And
Oh yeah, the promo before where he said, "How much do you love me?"
yeah. And I don't know if that's going to be her being reluctantly in on it with him, or if it's going to be a full blown Christian and Trish Stratus thing from 2004, or an Edge and Lita kind of thing. But
That would be awesome.
it'll be interesting to say the least. I can't wait to see more personality from AJ, and hopefully she's developing more as a wrestler too.
More presence. Like I gotta say,
she's one of the few divas on the roster that has a background in the indie circuit, so
Yeah.
she at least knows how to wrestle. Like she used to wrestle up in the Northeast over here all the time.
yeah, Jersey
Oh.
wrestling. She was trained by Jay Lethal. She was fucking Jay Lethal. I'm sorry. No, just the rumors that she was dating him.
Oh yeah.
But good for Jay if it's true. We all love you, Jay.
Hey, good for her if it's true. I mean, come on, let's
Damn
not
straight, it's
deny.
lethal.
You know,
That's-
black machismo.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah, everyone wins in this relationship.
Now you're
Yes.
gonna get the elbow drop.
Yeah, someone who is someone who is incredibly over, but the TNA completely fumbled.
AJ, get out of the ring, baby. Today we're gonna practice the Savage Drop. I'm sorry.
Hey, baby, you're going nowhere. I got you 3 minutes. 3 minutes playtime.
For the first for the first half of our night. For the first half of our night, you could be Miss Elizabeth. For the second half, you could be Queen Sherry.
I'm going in the danger zone. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're just
Snap it,
speculating on words.
If AJ, if you ever see this, we apologize.
You too, Jay Lethal. It's just a little bit of fun. We respect both of you. You're great. You're entertaining. We love you.
And as
It's-
nerds, we are very proud of you for getting somewhere and being able to make great references like dressing up as Katana.
Yes.
So the end of the show, AJ's basically dead, and Big Show starts bawling like a baby, and all the doctors come out, and the crowd, as all of this is happening, they start chanting, "She's okay, she's okay," even though she's basically dead on the floor.
Oh God, where was this episode filmed?
Laredo, Texas.
I almost
Oh
thought
man, Snarktown,
for-
Texas, right there.
for a
That's the
second-
name.
For a second, I thought they were chanting "Please don't die," a la when like a high flyer in the Indies.
They did chant that too.
The other thing is that when they finally start bringing AJ up the ramp, the crowd starts booing like mad. Like, are you not even going to finish the match?
Yeah.
Asshole.
It is funny though, because when they start wheeling, like just before they get in the gorilla position, Daniel Bryan starts yelling at the Big Show, who's still like beside himself, completely crying. He's like, "You're reckless. She's not 95 pounds. You're 500 pounds. You're
Yeah,
a
and then-
bastard."
Yeah, he pushes right before they get all the way behind the curtain. Bryan stops him and pushes him back. And he's like, "You are a bastard!" And because apparently bastard is now the worst thing you can say. Just ask Alex Riley.
Well, yeah,
And
they're-
Big Show, he basically gets on his knees and starts crying like crazy.
He's like,
as
that's
the
not
show
true. I have a mom and dad.
yeah, it's like if you look at the wrestle crap.
No, actually, if you remember back correctly from his feud with Big Boss Man, he is a bastard.
Oh yeah, he is a bastard.
Oh.
I do remember that. That was a very
Thanks.
very tasteful feud.
Does anyone remember that the Boss Man's lovely poem about how Big Show's mother being sleeping around?
No, moving on.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit.
Did anyone see
But
that
yeah,
movie
the show
Tron?
ends, and for this show, the main event, for as little time as it had, it was good. It's Daniel Bryan and Big Show, so it's good, and it leaves us on a cliffhanger for next week. Like, what is going to happen with Mark Henry? How are they going to do the world title match? What's going to happen to AJ? All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a whole, though, this is like a quality over quantity thing for me, because there's 8 matches on this show. There's a metric fuck ton of matches on SmackDown this week, and only one of them manages to get past 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
but
and all the other matches that happen, the 7 other ones weren't really all that good.
no, but they got their points across. They did what they were meant to do. So you can sit there and say pacing, and everything, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's fine. Um, and that's the difference between a variety show like Raw and a wrestling show like SmackDown.
Yep.
But anyway, that's pretty much it for SmackDown. That's pretty much it for Raw and WWE this week too. So once again, it's time to play everyone's favorite game. What gets more screen time than John Morrison?
But yeah, I'll tell you what gets more screen time than Jay Lethal. Zack Ryder changing a tire, but not getting his hand completely crushed. As a result, gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
What gets more screen time than John Morrison?
Yeah.
Wood crates get more screen time than John Morrison.
Force of habit.
What was that, McFly?
Wood crates.
Yeah.
Oh, paramedics who don't know how to hold a patient's neck get more screen time than John Morrison.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Those paramedics were awful. Let's just move her neck and in her body.
Yeah, that won't have any repercussions.
All of our insane references get more screen time than John Morrison.
I get more screen time than Morrison.
Anyway.
With that would be the dark match for this week. If however many of you got all the references that we made, please let us know.
Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, for the dark match, this is Tifus, and we're gearing up for our 1-year anniversary, getting back up to 3-hour-long episodes.
Yay!
Yeah. Next week we bring back Matt the Paranoid Cat. I'm Christopher Says.
I'm Magpie, and I hope what Chris said isn't true, and I'm proud of our work.
We're not Eric Bischoff. We're Garrett Bischoff. We don't burn our bridges.
And I'm the fat one, Subrick, and all this is giving me a headache. So long for now. Off to play board game online.
All right, that's it. The show is over. Good night. Good luck.